What's up, guys? Julien Guiteau here, and today we are on set of Chillin With Julien, episode 9, where the mission is to interview inspiring individuals to inspire others. I'm super thankful because today we have hosts, producers, authors, mother-daughter duo, Shelley Meche'tte and Bree K Jones. How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
Why do you always have to start first?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Hierarchy.
I'm
Good.
thankful to
How
have you
are
both on the show.
Come on,
And
respect the
at the end of
hierarchy.
the day, I think with quarantine happening and the pandemic, still being able to, interview inspiring individuals, even though you guys are on the West Coast, and do it virtually is something that I'm thankful for.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
So wanted to ask, first question, where are you both from?
Cali.
See, you didn't even let me answer.
Because you're from Cali. You're from the same place I'm from.
But I wanted
it was an easy answer. We're from Cali.
Los Angeles.
You're from Cali.
Los Angeles.
You're from Cali. Technically Inglewood, if you just want to be specific. We're from Cali.
Okay. Los Angeles, California.
Stop it. You're getting put out already. It's too soon.
So how long have you both been a mother-daughter duo in the entertainment industry, and how did you get started in the first place?
You want to answer since you're upset? Oh my goodness.
I would say 2016.
Oh, now she wants to check with me.
Whatever.
Okay.
2016. I'm sorry.
Give
You threw me off.
Give her the question again. Give it to her again.
No, you threw me off, Mom.
Yeah. How long have we been a mother-daughter entertainment duo? Don't touch me.
We've been a duo for 4 years now. Yes.
4 years. Okay. That's super interesting. And through those 4 years, what have you, I guess, learned the most about being in this mother-daughter duo?
Go on.
No, you go.
No, go on.
No, you go.
I
ahead.
want you to.
I bet you do. No, so anyway, this right here, she just likes to bother me. So this is what I've learned, that I have to have patience. I have to inhale and exhale. I think one of the things that I've learned with us being a mother-daughter duo is just the different talents that we have. It's really been great to be able to work with a partner and for that partner to be my child. I get to learn about her in a different way. So I think that's been one of the greatest things. She has an amazing work ethic. And so, yeah.
Thank you.
So she has an amazing work ethic. And as my partner, she has my back. So you cannot ask for more than that. I trust her with the process. I trust the things that she's saying. She researches. So it works out to be a really good combination.
Yeah, I would have to pretty much agree with what you said, Miss Shelley.
Oh, thank you, Miss Bree.
I've learned really like how to mesh the different working style, even though like our working styles are pretty much the same. That can cause a lot of friction when you have two people who have the same exact tenacity, whose brain goes a million miles per hour. But so we've like learned how to balance, like, I don't know, it's just kind of like an internal thing where it's like when we go into a meeting or whatever the case, we just kind of like have this feeling like, okay, well, you take this question or you take this question type thing. And we're really intentional about like not overpowering the other person. So I just think that I don't think there was ever like this works, but just after like putting our working relationship together, as with anything, the longer you do stuff, you find the kinks and you find out what works and what meshes. And we've just, been on the ball rolling ever since.
Yeah, I totally agree. I just think we just found out
what
works. It wasn't necessarily like, oh, this doesn't work for us. Oh, let's redo this. Whereas more like, oh, this is very productive when we do things like this. So, yeah.
That's powerful and inspiring. I definitely could attest to that. I work with family members as well. And at the end of the day, it's there's a trust there. There's a bond there. There's something that you guys can push forward and know that you guys have each other's back no matter what. So that's super awesome right there.
Definitely.
So question for Bree. What is a deaf merger and what sparked your interest to become one?
Yeah, so I'm actually a deaf culture merger, and it's culture like CULTURE. Everybody thinks I'm saying kosher, or like,
Or like they think you say deaf
or they think I say deaf
instead of deaf.
But yeah, so as a deaf culture merger, what I do is honestly, I really just spend a lot of time in the hearing community, letting them know about the deaf community, letting them know about different ways that they can make their companies, if they're entrepreneurs, deaf friendly, so that people of the deaf community in the deaf community can have access to information, communication, letting them know about different agencies that they can reach out to look for interpreters if they need an interpreter for a deaf client, what to do before an interpreter arrives, things like, it's okay, you don't need to be scared of the deaf person just because you don't know how to communicate with them, write it down, use your phone, like just different things like that, and really spending a lot of time talking to them about the culture, because the culture is completely different. And so one always thinks that one is being rude and not being respectful of protocol. And after explaining, like, no, in this world, this is how it operates. So, don't take it personal. It's just the difference of perspective. And so that's pretty much what I do as a deaf culture merger. And the interest sparked, I want to say, like full-fledged when I was my junior year of college. It was when I took up American Sign Language as a foreign language. I had been previously exposed to American Sign Language, but being in college is when I really started learning about the culture, learning about the gap between the hearing and the deaf. And I'm just like, wow, like how many hearing people don't know X, Y, and Z, And as a person who had that information and who considered myself an ally, I took the information that I felt it was my responsibility to put it out there. If I hold on to the information and do nothing with it, it's pointless, it's a waste. So I ended up finding a love and a passion for that, and just really feeling inspired that other people learn something, because we all learn something new from somebody. But to know that somebody's eyes were opened about a new group of people, and now they're not a new group of people, but a new group of people, and you're in that hearing person's eyes, and now you're more aware and more conscious about how you as the person interact with someone who's different from you. That brings a really, really warm, fuzzy feeling to my heart, like, oh, like I attributed to something. Like, okay, cool. So
that's inspiring, because you think about both the deaf community and then the hearing community, and how there's not many much differences. When you have the merger there, you're starting to learn more about each other, and you start to see that, wait, we have much more in common than we thought we did. That barrier, once it's removed, you start to see like so much in common. So I think that's super awesome what you do. Question for Shelley. What is a life purpose coach, and what made you want to take this path?
A life purpose coach is a lot like a life coach, which is where we're guiding you and really helping you walk into the next level of your life. But I like to say that a life purpose coach is a life coach with a little bit of splash. Spling.
Okay.
Did you feel that? Got that?
Like that.
I felt it.
You felt that? Thank
like,
you.
Look, do it.
Spling.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow. It got on me.
And the reason being is because so many times we want to make it to the next level. We want to see what's next in our lives, but we really haven't come to terms with who were we created to be? Who are we beyond our titles? Who are we outside of, the beliefs that we grew up with, or how someone has raised us? And so being a life purpose coach, we go back and we review some of those things, so that not only are we going to guide you to your next level and where you're going and help you get there confidently, but you're going to get there knowing more about who you are and who you've been created to be. And that's a big difference. You don't want to just be a part of life. You want to live life. You want to experience life, and you want to do it as the person that you were created to be, and not just out there. So I spend time helping you understand where your purpose lies, so that you can confidently walk in who you are. And who you are is who God designed you to be in the first place. And the reason I stepped into this is because I found myself standing in the mirror one day after I decided to stay home with my girls, And I found myself standing in the mirror, not really knowing who I was. You know, I have these wonderful titles. I was someone's wife. I was someone's mother. I was someone's employee. I worked in the entertainment industry, which I really love. So I had all of these different facets about myself that I really enjoyed. But if I took away all of those things that had a title to it, who was Shelley? Who was Shelley purposed to be? What did Shelley enjoy? You know, do I even really like lemonade, or do I just drink it because the kids leave it behind? You know, you don't like to waste food, you know, when you have children. You want to account for that. And so it was just a journey that I ended up taking. And when I was done with that and recognizing who I was and understanding who you are can really be a life journey. There's not a set time like you need to know this by 20. You need to know this by 25. The journey can be lifelong. But as long as you're walking towards it, that's what's the greatest thing. So I said, if I had, you know, if I was looking and trying to discover myself, how many of my fellow women are doing the same thing? I wanted them to be able to know who they were, just like I was able to find who I was. And my purpose lied in me helping other women find their purpose. You see?
I think that's super powerful, because at the end of the day, it's so true and so common that, you know, we go through our daily jobs and we see those titles and we think, okay, this is what I do. But at the end of the day, we try to find out like who I am, you know, at the end of the day, who I'm created to be, what my purpose is exactly, rather than I do this job or I work here. And I think that's so important, that you do that work, because at the end of the day, a lot of individuals are seeking that, and some may not know they fell into that route of, you know, this is my day to day. I have this title, but you know, that thought in the back of your head, like, what really am I doing? It's a real thought, and you have an opportunity to, you know, help these individuals find that purpose. So super powerful what you do.
I get excited about it. If we don't know who we are, we're just walking through life blindly. We're frustrated. We're upset. You know, we're bitter. We're lashing out at other people. When in actuality, if we turn it back inward and find out what's going on with us, and when we begin walking in who we were called to be, so much stuff would just fall off of you. You know, so much haterade. You'd be like, child, gone somewhere.
Yeah, just like what Nipsey Hussle said when he said, find your purpose or you wasting air.
That's what I'm saying. You know, I love Nipsey, right?
I know.
I do. I love him.
Okay.
I guess this is a question for both of you. Can you explain your joint YouTube series, I Hear You, and what inspired the creation of this series?
I'm going to give that one to Bree.
Well, initially, I wanted to work behind the scenes, educating people behind the scenes about deaf community and deaf culture, so that more deaf talent can have an opportunity to be on set and be able to artistically express themselves through television, through theater, you know, whatever the case may be. So actually, I was talking to a casting director about it, and she, you know, dropped the nugget in me and asked if I ever thought about doing a web series. And I was just like, why would I think about that? Like, I mean, but she said it so casually, right? Like, oh, have you thought about doing this? And I was like, no. But literally, like, the next day, I put out a crew call asking for like cinematographers, editors, sound, boom,
just everything,
like without doing research,
just jumped
anything.
in
blindly.
I just
jumped right for the gun. I was like, well, see, she said I should do it, so I'm just gonna do this thing. That's pretty much how it started. And so because of my mother's background in entertainment, you know, I presented it to her, and I was like, oh, such and such said that blah 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 blah, and so we should do this. Do you want to do this with me? And she's just like, yeah, but no
budget, no laying out, no seeing. We was like, casting, do this, and you know, you would think that I have a little bit of something where I would have said, hold up, let's do this. But we were novice, and we just really jumped in. I look back on it, and that's not what you want to do. But I look back on it, and sometimes I think it might have been the best for us, because I'm such a detailed person, and I look at every which way that something can happen, might happen, would happen, could happen, if happen. I probably would have drove myself crazy. and we may not have been able to jump in. So we jumped in and we learned. And once we were in there, we like, listen, we just gonna swim because we don't have time for drowning today.
Right.
So we're just gonna swim and do this. Again, not something that I would recommend, but I think at the time, because we were so zealous about it, and we were just like, this is just so great, let's do it.
If we had thought about it, we probably would
have talked ourselves out of it. Like, we don't have this, we don't have that, maybe we should wait, maybe.
Right.
So, but we did.
I think that's super incredible that you guys went about it that way, because at the end of the day, if you have such an eagerness to begin something and you have the people around you to start it up, why not jump for it? I think that's how I started with this podcast. My editor or my videographer kind of knew the day before that this was going to be a brand new podcast, and he was like, hey man, I don't really have equipment for this, and I'm like, let's just follow my lead. And at the end of the day, it turned into like our 9th one here today. And I think sometimes you just have to jump. You have to not overanalyze things. And like you said, it's not always the best route for everything you do, but there's certain times where So I think that's incredible. Question for Shelley.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about your nonprofit women's organization, Powerful Woman, spelled POWHERFUL?
Yes, powerful.
It's me being strong.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, there we go.
I started the Powerful Woman. Actually, it was an extension from another organization. I had a youth program called Rooted for Life, where I would help prepare teens, for high school students actually, to go into college. And in what was that, 2011, I believe. But
when you started it?
Yeah, I think so, 2011, 10, 11, one of them. But as I was doing it, I kept saying, my goodness, I'm not fulfilled. This is the purpose thing again. I'm not fulfilled in this. I'm doing something that's great, it's wonderful for the community, but I'm just really not fulfilled. What is going on? And I remember praying and asking God, like, I'm where I'm supposed to be. What's the problem? And he told me that I was doing the right thing, but I was doing it for the wrong people. And I had to sit back and say, where is my love? Where is what I really love? And what I really love and still do are women. I just love women. I love hugging them. I love seeing them. I love being able to pour life into them. And so with that, immediately I switched my nonprofit and I changed it over from being a youth program to being a women's empowerment program. As soon as I switched it over that year, I actually jumped right into that jump again.
Yeah.
I jumped right into preparing a conference. I was so excited about it. And we've been doing that conference, an annual conference every year. We actually missed this year. And unfortunately, I missed last year, but I think I did a brunch or something. I can't remember. Something like that. But that's been my heart, to be able to bring women together every year for just one day when you can let your hair down, when you don't have to answer to anything, when you can be with other women who empower you, love you, where you can dance. We dance across the stage, and just where you can be loved. And that's my heart. I love women. I want women to love who they are, to empower who they are, to take responsibility for their decisions, and to walk confidently in their purpose. That's what the organization is all about.
That's amazing. You think about those conferences and you have all these strong, powerful women in one room, and I think it just trickles to each and every person. It's a contagious thing where like they all feel empowered, and I think that's just an incredible outlet for everybody there.
I have so much fun at the conferences. These women think that it's for them. Child, I love the conference. I love it. And when I hear a woman, come to me and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I had such a great time, or thank you for the opportunity to highlight my business, or I just enjoy being around other women who were like me. I love it. I get giddy and I'm ready to do it again.
It's a mutual fulfillment that you have right there.
Definitely.
Amazing.
They enrich me. They empower me. So I love it.
I love that right there. Question for Bree. From your experience, can you explain the type of stereotypes and social anxieties the deaf community face on a daily basis, and how can these be improved for like positive change towards progression?
That is a lot.
That's a lot.
I would have to say, well, as far as like stereotypes that we as hearing people have, you know, we have this notion that people who are deaf can't do anything. It's like, oh, you can't hear, so you can't operate in the world. You know, you can't speak for yourself. You can't do anything yourself. You know, if you have children, adults expect the children to be the mouths for their parents. You know, there's no reason why a 7-year-old should be doing a transaction at the bank on behalf of their parent. But so yeah, there's this notion that they're childlike, that they need help. You know, when people meet them, they exaggerate their words, or they speak extra loud and start shouting, and it's just like, shouting is not going to make somebody hear you, you know, any more or less than what they may already do. And so it's just interesting looking at hearing people, our natural instincts when we encounter a deaf person. You know, if somebody points to their ear, we freeze up and like walk away, or we go, oh, I'm sorry. You don't have to be sorry. Like, the deaf person probably wants that human interaction. You know, imagine being told, oh, I'm sorry, and walking away every single day. I did an experiment like a couple of years ago at the grocery store, just for my own personal, because I wanted to see what my deaf friends were talking about, because nobody wants to admit that they're mean or that they're not sensitive to people who are less than them, or, you know, have less than them, to say the least. And so I'm like, you know, let me try this out. So anyway, long story short, we were in the grocery store and I was just signing the entire time. I didn't use my voice. I was signing to my sister, signing to my mama didn't understand what I was saying, but my sister understood. And so countless times, like, if somebody like looked at me, I noticed that they hurry up and you know, would look away, or like they'll try to like avoid me, or they're just staring at me like consistently, or, you know, they would intentionally disregard me and look to my sister or my mother to tell them how I'm feeling about something. Or if there was like a conversation that was happening, like the conversation with the cashier, she kept looking at my sister and my mom. Not one time, and I was standing in the middle of both of them, and not one time did she ever make eye contact with me. And I was like, dang.
Yeah.
And this is just an experiment that I did. This is not my life. I don't deal with this at the gas station, at the movies, at the restaurant. And I just thought, wow. So I think, you know, as hearing people, what we can do to make that better is, one, we can stop fetishizing, did I say that right?
I think so.
Fetishizing American Sign Language, because as long as I've been in this field, everything is, oh my gosh, that's so cool, that's so cool, oh, that's so cool. But you're not taking out the time to learn this language, to communicate with somebody for access at Home Depot. You think it's cool to tell somebody F you with your hands. And it's just like, and
this
get
is someone's
it. This is somebody's
language.
language. This is their life. And I get it, because when I was in high school, I wanted to know how to say all the cuss words in Spanish. But I think the difference is that even people who speak another language, you can hear. You know, you don't, you know, versus somebody who doesn't have hearing, the first thing you want to know is how to use a curse word. No, you need to be learning how to communicate with me so that I can have access. People who speak Italian, Romanian, Japanese, okay, you're not denied access, but it's this group of people that's denied access, maybe not always intentionally, but nobody knows their language.
Well, I thank you both, Shelley and Bree. Thank you guys for tuning in to Chillin' with Julien, episode 9, the virtual edition. Learned so much today, and stay inspired, stay healthy, and have a good day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye.
You too.